What's on your wrist, because that's a weird looking watch. I just had a glimpse of this. I need to know what this is.
This is this is the new version of the Seiko soft watch, which is the Dali watch, we can say. And I'm sorry I've said that because it's only Seiko, long story, honestly.
Look at that crystal, that big fat crystal on top there.
Yeah, it's interesting. This is a new one, of course taking inspiration from the old one that they launched in 1989. And it's kind of the watch that launched me. It's the watch that, like, let's say the original one, the old one, is the one that brought me on like GQ and all around.
That's so cool.
And what's on your wrist, on the other hand? So we
gonna start.
Switch, you know?
Well, I'll give you this.
Thank you.
So this is go back to that. This is our first sort of big box limited edition, the Zenith Defy Classic Night Surfer. And this one was our first sort of big throwdown, because at the time it was just such a big risk to do a limited edition with Zenith.
Yeah.
And it was a great experience. I think back on it as if it's 100 years ago, but the process of, and again, you talk about finding a way to have legitimacy, be different, have a voice, have an identity. We wanted to bring something. God, that looks good with that. Yeah. Those blues, because you've got the different shades.
Yeah.
Get in on this. Yeah, the way that.
That's perfect.
It's not just a case of, like you've told me, you're going to do some limited editions.
Yeah.
It's really this. You should be putting pressure on yourself to think about ways you can reflect your difference.
Of course.
In your editions.
Of course. Well, I have a concept that I'm not going to unveil you yet, but let's say it's going to be based on my story, more or less.
Oh, cool.
But it's more like my story is interlaced with a period of time, which is the 90s in Milan.
Yeah.
And so we're going to use like the Milanese 90s era and colors to get.
I love it already.
See, I will show you some.
This is how you do it. You don't just change the dial color. And there was a period where they were really lazy limited editions, and ours, like, cool. The story around it is that it's the Night Surfer. So if you stay out in the surf too long, you will end up seeing this nighttime gradient where the sun is just set and the sky is light here, and then it gets darker as it goes higher, and then you have the night surrounding it. But the Night Surfer concept was something that it was just elegant and simple, and it reflected really well. And this micro-blasted titanium bracelet, super weird,
and it's perfect
rare.
with the collar.
It is, yeah. It doesn't fight with the galvanic shine of the color, but that was our first edition.
Amazing.
Yeah. And that was a really special moment that validated that. I can't remember. I think it was like 2020. I don't know.
Okay.
Actually, I'm bad with dates.
Well, me too. And with references as well.
Forget it.
Hate references.
Forget it. No references.
I see you have a About Effing Time box.
I do. I just want to show this off quickly because this guy was such a cool dude. So this guy, Nacho, made us a case that he presented to us at the Christmas party when we announced that About Effing Time would, or it was shortly after that Christmas party that we announced that we were going to retire, and he'd made this beautiful box. So I wanted to give, if you want an outstanding quality watch box, black chest, I have Pelly cases, and this watch is at least as good. And the way that he's fitted this out inside is just, it's awesome. It is something that will forever commemorate this period. Like, our names are all inside. I'll show you. But I'm going to hide my watches.
I know.
So you're
I
not
know.
But no, thank you, Nacho, for this amazing box. And if anybody wants the most freaking over-spec'd, over-engineered, unkillable watch box, this is the one.
I'm gonna.
Okay. So
I'm gonna hide.
I am going. Where do you want to go first?
I don't know what's there, so.
Okay, that's true. Let's start.
It's kind of complicated.
Okay, let's start with something that I think is right for you right now. No, don't look yet.
Yeah, easier.
Okay, cool. I like to tease you. Yes, this is one that I feel this is our adjacency.
Have I
this
seen
is where
it
we
before?
overlap. I talked about it, but I didn't have it.
Right?
Yeah.
It was this one against the Lapis one, or
exactly.
No?
So Andrea and I had a long drive. Was that the AP Milan trip?
No, IWC. AP didn't invite us.
Oh, I see.
There was no
I'm sorry
Italians
about
there.
that. I'm sorry.
No big deal.
That's correct.
No big deal.
there was a IWC trip and we had a long car ride, and I was thinking about buying this watch, and you said yes. You said do it.
Yeah.
So,
I remember that.
You are to blame for this.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I'll put this on.
Yeah, please. Otherwise I'm
And
not
then
used to it.
it's because of you. You are to blame for me being on Mike Nouveau's channel, which is something I'm glad.
Mike Nouveau?
Yeah. So at Watches and Wonders, I was wearing this watch.
Okay.
And he approached me and said, "Hi, love your work," and I said, "Love yours." And then he said, "Let's include this in some cool watches that we saw at Watches and Wonders."
Really
So
cool.
yeah, I would definitely have not got on Mike Nouveau if I wasn't wearing a teeny tiny vintage watch. But look, this is, and it turns out that this is a special one. So this is from the 70s, late 70s, and it's a gold tank case, but with a Burmese jade dial.
Yeah, it's really deep.
And the rare thing about this dial, this particular jade, is that it's rarely uncracked. They're not difficult to find, but they're pretty much always cracked. So when I met Davide Parmigiani and told him that I was starting to fall down this rabbit hole at a Piaget event, he said, "But it's cracked, right?" And I said, "No." And then he offered to buy it. Oh, God.
Yeah, it looks nice, huh? Looks nice.
Look at that.
Looks nice strap, by the way, huh?
This is a Collected Man strap. Just a straight shout out to Collected Man. And they've done something really interesting here. It's obviously a narrow, like the light width is narrow, but it's really chunky. It's like a cuff.
Yeah,
It's really
and I love the fact that it's like hidden. It's like Flying Saucer vibe. That's really nice.
So this is your fault, this watch.
I'm very glad it is. I'm very happy. I mean, if I had friends that made such mistakes,
That's
I would
true.
be very happy.
Well, that's why you're here. We got our friendship got off to a good start. And actually, I think you then, by the way, this guy's a complete hustler. You then said to me in the car, you started sending me, "Oh, if you're looking at that watch, you should also look at this.
Yeah.
And look at this." And this one just came up. And
Right, do this.
Okay, cool.
Do this.
I'm going to go from small to large. They're going to completely jolt the
afraid of the large
jolt the
ones.
wrist. This is
I'm really
going to
afraid of them.
monster your wrist. So this is another watch of mine.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Do you like Grand Seiko?
Grand Seiko I find super compelling because I love an underdog. I just love the way that the Japanese have really turned up the heat with finishing.
Oh yeah, indeed. This they do. They do really well.
You may not like the brand, but you cannot question the finishing in this watch. Looks ridiculous on you.
No.
More gym for you,
No,
my friend.
yeah,
More
but
protein, more gym.
But I think I need like a transplant more than gym.
It's a steroid. TRT straight into the to the wrist. But look, this is a watch that is absolutely massive on me too. Like, I'll show you.
How did it end? Like, I mean, how could you have both of them in the same
know.
collection?
I know. But this is why I'm not I just don't think
I mean,
can
it's
call
perfectly
myself
fine.
a collector.
I love collections that have both of the, or like best of both worlds, but
Because I'm still like the Australian thing, right? If the Australian watches, the most popular models in Australia, that is just huge, even on me here.
yeah, it is.
It is just huge. But the Australian sort of sensibility with collecting is around size. Like, we're a deeply insecure, masculine group.
The bigger the better.
We love sport. We're all active. Again,
Yeah.
I don't want to play to the cliche. It's somewhere between being deeply insecure and very, very active and always swimming. Like, I think 95% of Australians live within 20 kilometres of the sea.
Okay.
So we're all coastal pretty much, and we all have a need for watches that can handle the tough stuff. The finishing on this just blew me away. And then I think the person that was showing me this watch then turned the light, just showed me the loom, and the loom on it is just vibrant. So I found myself, super into that. So.
But this is really one of the few Grand Seikos I don't really like.
I know.
You know.
That's why I brought it, actually. I have Italian friends that have the more elegant, beautiful, slim watches.
People love to tease me, yeah?
I do love them. I love them too. I actually think that Grand Seiko, if you were to say what's the best proposition for a dress watch, apart from the obvious contenders, Cartier and Piaget,
Would you say it's a dress watch?
I would say Grand Seiko, some of the Grand Seiko models are superb dress watches.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, not traditional, but
indeed.
there's the... it's a particular... I'm so bad with reference numbers, but our Italian member, Pietro, has a watch that... I'll give you some B-roll, but...
Please.
I think they're really worth considering as a spectacularly finished dress watch.
Yeah.
And I think the dress watches need superior finishing, in my view.
Yeah, makes sense. To
You
me,
know?
it's more like about design.
Yeah.
Like I would go for a Santos Dumont.
Yes, I know.
Simple.
The obvious contender.
Simple.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's, to me, modern dress is like your everyday, not beta, but is your everyday classic watch.
Yes.
Like, to me, it's like
True.
the perfect Datejust competitor, let's say.
Okay.
In a bit more like subtle and refined way. But,
That's true. That
finishing is...
in terms of the robustness of the movements, they are absolutely superb everyday watches. But this is not an everyday watch. But I wanted to bring it out just to prove that I haven't. Yes, I listened to you on that, but I didn't listen to you on that. You ready for the next?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I might just keep making a wildly sort of
Yeah.
varied ride. Okay, let's go. Let's move to Heartbreak right now. This is Heartbreak. So
Still
I
looking?
brought probably 70% of my watches over to us to the UK from Australia. I have been terrified of the. Everyone said, "Oh my God, London! It's you know, just don't bring anything."
When did you
nice.
move?
I can't have a look at this. There's something happening here. Have a look under. Just look under the look closely. Put it under here. Show the people.
No.
Show the
I've
people.
seen.
It's painful. It's painful.
Yeah. You need a watchmaker.
So we need a watchmaker.
Yeah.
1-800 need a watchmaker. I got this out to bring to today and noticed that the small seconds hand has taken a little breather.
But it's okay.
Position.
It's not gonna be bad.
I don't think
It's
so.
not gonna be bad.
So I've been in contact with somebody that's going to help me, but I love this watch so much.
I've heard it's like one of your favorite watch.
This is my favorite vintage watch. This is really my only vintage watch until I bought this. But I saw this. Jesse Paul from Breaking Bad did a photo shoot with GQ, and it was like in the desert. He was on a motorbike, and the lifestyle shots from that shoot were him wearing this super oxidized ranchero. Like there was pumpkin loom, bright orange. Just looked it was fully just so oxidized that and this is early in my journey with watches. I went into a secondhand dealer and said, I want a ranchero but with the orange indices, and he's like, that doesn't exist. And I said, yeah, it does. And I showed him a picture. He said, no, that's a tritium dial ranchero that has this now is the state of it after its natural use. So this one isn't as pumpkiny, even though it's from 1959.
But patina's on point, huh?
They scratched off the tritium. This was a transitional ranchero that was still getting a reading on the Geiger counter. So they actually reapplied the loom as part of its service.
But I mean,
and service hands as well, which is why they're not oxidized.
But still, looks very nice. And it was your first vintage watch, so?
Yeah, love it.
And are you getting into vintage
you,
now,
actually.
or?
No, I'm still not getting into vintage for that very reason. I see that little hand floating in there, it's the saddest thing, and I just feel that I will just keep buying new watches, actually.
No, I'm sad about that. I'm
I know.
much more of a vintage guy, and this is easy to fix.
Okay.
5 minutes.
Okay. I'll let you know how much it costs, and
Yeah.
maybe I'll be back.
Okay.
But I do love it, and I think this is the realization of the mid-century perfect watch.
Yeah.
You put this with a Calatrava for me in terms of the absolute personification, the peak of classic watch design.
Yeah.
Ranchero.
Yeah.
And the story is hilarious. I'm not going to tell it today because I've told it too many times. But the fact that this is the biggest marketing failure in watchmaking history, ask me about that another day.
Yeah.
Turn away, my friend.
We can find it.
We can find that. Let me go to something of the moment.
I kind of know what it is.
You do?
Tagoyer?
Yes.
Yeah.
You snuck a look.
No. Well, I saw some yellow. I remember you bought this.
Yes.
I was about to buy one right after you, and I made an offer, and they beat me. And
what did you offer? How much? I'm curious.
Like £20 less than what it was.
But how much was it?
$250.
I overpaid by at least double. I don't know what I was thinking.
Well, how much did you pay for this one?
£550.
No, I offered $220, $230.
And so
someone bought it off me.
I doubly paid. Like the seller just could not believe.
The old one, like this one, being the old one and not the Keith.
Yes. No, this is so I knew about the Kith launch coming, but I started researching, and then I saw this model, and I just couldn't believe this combination of canary yellow, like this super kind of bright yellow with. Damn, man. You see? So I'm not I'm not a big Formula One fan, but this model.
Neither am I. But
we should do more watches like this color.
And it's kind of sad that it came in like a limited run, and I didn't get the Keith collaboration. Like I didn't get why bringing Keith in it. Like
I did get it.
Why?
But
What do you think?
why did I do it? It's because there's a consistent marketing strategy in LVMH, which is to elevate the brand.
Okay.
Find ways to even take the most accessible entry points for those brands and lift that as well. And the way to lift what is their lowest entry point, which would be a Formula One, is to collaborate with something high value and then be able to
push it up,
put a premium. So in actual fact, what that ends up doing to your mindset is that the whole of the brand goes with it. Because a brand sometimes, LVMH look at their brands and they look very hard at their entry point and they make sure that that's not actually low. They're trying to lift that entry point so that even a plastic and steel core watch could be at that price. So strategically, it's perfectly consistent with LVMH, but it is sad for people that considered this to be their first memory of Tag Heuer. That is the first Tag Heuer watch. It's the first watch to ever have the Tag Heuer branding. So it's sacred ground. I just have everything crossed that there will be a standard collection, but I think it jars with the way that the brand operate.
Yeah,
and I wonder whether we might just be waiting a very long time for that.
I think
In the meantime, I have this and that on your wrist.
It fits perfectly, yeah.
It's great.
And there's a level of detail on the whole watch that for the money you pay is really not unbeatable, but very competitive.
Well, I actually do have this box here as well, but this is a really cool point about
it's the original one.
It is, yeah. It's that I managed to get literally a full set, and this had been serviced. Like if you look at this, look at the way it came. Look at the way this seller sent this to me. This is I think it's Mornington watches. There's no. I paid £555 for a Formula One, so I'm an idiot. But I didn't see any other examples of this particular one.
As good in conditions and set, really not.
We should blur out some of this, but this was serviced in 2021. Someone actually got a Formula One serviced.
It's amazing.
So it's pretty crazy. I thought that was really cute, actually. That a watch that I don't think has ever been serviced. Imagine Tag Heuer receiving this. They were like, "What? You want this? How are we going to service this?"
It's incredible. Yeah, they're going to change the battery. Most possibly.
Change the battery.
Yeah.
That's it. But it had been safed as well, for sure. There is nothing, not a mark on it. And even the sort of the suppleness and the stiffness of the rubber, of the plastic is still...
It's perfect.
It's perfect.
It's perfect. Conditions is really on point.
Paid way too much for a Mornington, but
that's okay.
Happy.
Yeah, I mean, you got a really good one with great color combinations.
And when I wear it, it does cheer me up. Okay, close your eyes.
Yeah.
Let's go somewhere that you won't expect.
Looking at the bricks outside.
Look at the bricks outside.
I don't see bricks in Milan.
Okay, you ready for this? Yeah, man.
I love them.
Tell me how you feel about Atelier when.
I love them. I met the guy, French guy, I never remember names.
Robin Talendia. Hi, Robin.
Hello. I met him at the Revolution Fondue in Geneva, and he was like,
such a gentle guy.
Yeah, and he was like, I have this brand, we do this and this, and I was like, can I tell you my story? And yeah, sure. And I ended up in like 1 hour conversation. I loved it. Yeah.
He's another one of these guys that is, and you're going to see something that's going to make you laugh any second. Look at the case back. Look at the engraving on the case back. What does it say?
Crafted in Geneva and not China.
There's a line through China.
Why that?
Do you know why?
No.
This dial was handcrafted by the Atelier when guilloche master, who is Chinese, in Geneva during Watches and Wonders.
No way.
So he made like 3 watches, and when Robin said, "Come to Paris, I want to talk to you about potentially working with us in our studio," as in being one of the brands that we stock in our studio. I went to Paris just with that intention, and he presented me with this, and I was emotional. I felt like I look at because it takes a day and a half to make this dial. And I had been into that room where there's Guillaume from
Yeah.
from Space One and Nevada Grenchen and Volcane. So there's Guillaume, there was Andrea from
Fulanmari.
Mari, we had Etienne from Baltic, we had all my team, my favourites. And I saw that they were working on a dial. And I said, what's going on? And they said, we brought machinery, we're going to make some dials here. And to be presented with one, this is the only Atelier one with the name printed on the sapphire crystal. This is the only Atelier one that's a solid brass dial or a silver dial. I think it might actually be a silver dial, but they weren't able to actually treat it or add anything to it, so it's just a pure raw dial. But this is what I think is so exciting about micro brands. Like practically any micro brand will give you a story to tell and some personal interaction, and I adore this. My heart stops looking at this, and I just love that they're bringing hand gear shade dials to a price point that's around $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 US. That's just insane that you can get something where every single micron of engraving was with someone with the perfect amount of pressure applying to that
as well.
ancient machine. So it's beautiful, and it has this really cool micro adjust actually, where you just apply your hand here, and that one way
No worries.
Never do that.
No worries.
But there's a really good micro adjust on the back that I didn't manipulate properly.
Love it.
Yeah.
I noticed the fact that it was not China as usual, but I didn't know it was like made in Geneva because of this. And it's more than a cool story. This is what makes them different as well. They have a human approach to this, and
you can feel you look at there's slight imperfections on the dial. Like it isn't absolutely machined to perfection.
Also because it was made during a watch fair, not like a normal time.
Exactly. He was, and this poor guy was just he had crowds of people around him, and he was just, because if you know, engine turning a dial requires this absolutely consistent amount of pressure being applied. So there's two things. It's a bit like patting your head, and you have to do two very different actions at the same time for hours and hours on end, and be applying exactly the same amount of pressure.
Have you tried?
I have tried.
Me too.
It sucked.
Yeah, it's difficult. Huh? It's difficult.
Some part was deep, some part was too shallow, and then you go to try to make the shallow deep, and then you make it. It's really hard. And seeing someone just meticulously do this, and this is an insanely detailed pattern. It isn't just a sort of an 8 concentric waves or something. This is.
No, I love them.
It's countless.
I love them so much.
So again, this is what excites me. This absolutely sums up what I love about micro brands and how they're bringing things to the market that previously were just way too expensive.
And I'm happy you brought me this guy because
I found
it.
You found out how to do it. It wasn't the watch it was meant.
No, come on. But no, I'm happy you brought this one because again, we both love him. And
can I see this on your wrist?
Of course, it's a little bit big. It's a little bit big. Yeah,
obviously
usually.
The bracelet's not sized.
And I would love to do they have rubber straps? I don't think so.
They do.
They do?
They do, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I would love more.
Because actually the lug to lug is okay.
Lug to lug is
perfect. It drapes
perfect.
straight off the case, right?
Yeah.
So there's no issue. There's no sort of there's a tiny bit of camber.
But still works perfectly.
Yep.
Nice, very nice. I like more colored dials, but I have to say it's.
Well, this is a rare raw dial, so
nice as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
Extra there.
Yeah.
They're very smart.
Nevertheless. Yeah, and usually they also have the tongue.
Yes.
But still, I mean, nice.
It's cool, and actually to show the people the aperture on the case back.
It's a dragon. It's amazing.
It's a dragon, but it's there's just a little aperture at the bottom where you can see the blackened rotor, and they've even got like a striping on a fantastic finishing on the rotor. So just so many details.
Yeah,
I love it.
Very many, and love the writing on the glass. Yeah, it's not bad on the crystal.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Okay, we're in the final stretch. There's another couple. I'm actually only gonna do 2 more. You asked for this one, so I'm gonna give it to you. Okay. You remember which one you asked for?
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
So.
Very, very, very interested in see. We were talking about this one last night. We were really talking about this one. Yeah.
What were you saying? Is there anything you can repeat?
Well, no. We're a couple Italians saying finally we have pizzas. Which
But it
is
was a
fun.
bitter pill because there are a lot of Italians who haven't loved one of the versions,
Which one?
the pineapple.
We loved it,
You loved it?
of course. Of course.
That is not the feedback I've had from most Italians.
Yeah, but I'm not like. I mean, depends on where they're based. I think we were all in London, and
Depends
everyone
on
was
where you're
yeah,
based,
and
yeah.
everyone was like, yeah, who cares?
If you're in
Pineapple
Napoli,
pizza, it's
no.
okay. No. Honestly, you know, but the Neapolitan guy made a pineapple pizza.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Like with what's zucca? Pumpkin.
Yes.
Like
Pumpkin
sauce.
and pineapple?
And pineapple. You don't feel right.
I feel right about that. I mean, ham, like pigs and pineapple is also, to be fair, very odd.
I would say, speck.
Yeah, I love speck.
Yeah, speck and pineapple would be fine to me.
I think so.
Honestly.
See, he's
Why
an
not?
open-minded guy. That's why he's
Yeah,
here.
of course.
Yeah.
No, love it.
So what do you want to know about this one? Is there anything, any question at all? I'll take it.
How did you come up with it? Like, what was the idea?
How did
Why?
this happen? Yeah, why? It's
Why?
a good question. Why?
Because the rest of it, like delivering pizzas and serving pizzas, was fucking fantastic. Huh?
Yeah,
Can
well,
be
look,
honest.
the idea started to sort of write itself, but it started with, gee, that looks nice. This is Molecan straps, by the way. Again,
Nice.
no commercial
Really cool.
interest. I actually would love to buy into this company. I'd love to buy
Yeah. I get
Shouldn't have
that.
said that. But
get that.
this is amazing because it's quick release straps, so you
Yeah.
can just instantly
And if
change
I can be honest, I prefer watches without strap. Like if I have to just look at them, I
Mhm.
prefer to take every strap off and just look at the watch.
Really, just the head.
Yeah. Well, you don't think like
Yeah, it does
This
take away the frame in a way. You get to look at the artwork.
like takes everything out of a watch.
It does.
It's flawed. Like it's only what you have to see.
It's true.
This is to wear. This is to look at.
Interesting.
Like it's. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I got so much like, oh, you should not do this from brands.
Mm.
Because I take pictures, even like Patek and
Yeah.
stuff like this, in my hand, no glove, no strap, and they're like,
That's
"Oh,
kind of
no,
your thing.
no,
That
no,
and the
no,
fork.
no." The fork, of course.
Yeah, the fork. of
We're gonna
course.
we're making a gold fork for the pictures. Yeah.
A platinum one, diamond encrusted, iced
Yeah,
out.
we're gonna make like MK1, MK2.
Oh,
we're
that's
gonna
cool.
sell them. And all
I'll
that.
take one. I'm the sort of idiot that'll be like, I have to have that. I must have that.
Honestly, the fun fact is
Yeah.
like I see this related to the fork somehow because
Mm.
when I saw you
Oh,
delivering
true.
pizzas, it's like
Yeah.
this is something I want to do.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
you got the idea before me and cool days.
Well, look, it's the most uncommercial idea ever to have a
No.
watch that's only hand delivered. But that is
Why?
well, because we can only sell so many. Like we can literally only sell to the number of people that we can deliver them to. There is no cheap way to get it. You can go into the studio in Melbourne and get it. That's the only physical place you can get it. You can get it from Richard or you can get it from me. So that's it. So again, Andrew, well done. Fantastic idea. And you found another way to create a viral sensation with no commercial payoff. So well done. No, but the idea came from, it was a complete joke. April the 1st, we did a prank that said, hey, Studio Underdog's next watch is a pizza watch. And instantly, from the minute we were like, ha ha ha, lol, April 1, people were just like, no, that's not acceptable. You fucking make that watch. You'd better. And it just got nasty. The room went, when the temperature changes?
Yeah.
No one was like, ha ha, lol. Like Rich and I were just, thinking,
No.
and it went dark.
Now
very
you
quickly.
make it.
Now you make it? No. And we both sort of looked a bit shocked, and the prank just went terribly wrong. And we thought, okay. And then it went dark, it went quiet. Richard and I sort of went our separate ways, and we were like, okay, and then I thought it was dead and gone, and we were just going to forget about this stupid prank. And then I get a dial in the mail. It's like getting a head in the mail from a serial killer. I just got this dial in the mail, random dial of a pizza, and I'm like, no, he's not actually gonna, because we'd never made one. We just had the renders, and I'm like, Richard, what? And he's like, I'm just playing. I'm like, and then
This is
another
not
dial
fair.
appears, another dial, and then Richard. What nobody knows about Richard Bentz from Studio Underdog is he's an obsessive over. He has to make a legitimately beautiful product, even if it's a joke. So as you can see from this, I mean, let's go under the. It's actually a beautiful product in terms of the way that he's emulated this dial with this kind of galvanic, but also matte texture. The way that he's created Some of the elements on the dial, including like the salami and the basil leaves, are in relief. So you've got them actually lifted off the dial. The way that there is no color bleed in the way that these elements are colored, it's actually...
No, it's really interesting. And the slices and like the
slices,
granite
there's
finishing.
6 slices. He's done a beautiful watch.
Yeah.
And by the 5th or 6th prototype, I'm like, actually, Richard, I think this is actually quite a beautiful watch. And from a distance, it has these warm tones to it that make you just think that's a nice watch. And you know what? Damn it, man! I'm asking you about that watch. If you're wearing that, I don't know anything about watches. I'm going to be like,
of course. Why you have a pizza on the wrist? Yeah.
And we can't say who, but we have delivered watches to A-list celebrities just by hand because that's the requirement. And of course, we'd love to do it. And a lot of this will never see the light of day, but it has opened me up to a whole new customer base, and that is people who are truly collectors in the sense that it's not about a flex, it's about the actual exclusivity of something.
Well, can I say
the fact that it's £500.
This to me is like Ed Sheeran's wrist. Could very much you
it's
don't have to say,
but it's
I would see this on him. 100%.
Because it's a statement of I truly love rare and exclusive watches.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of watchmaking, because if this goes on his wrist, who has like other things, let's say like €1 million things, we can say that there's passion and there's something for everyone. He's legit, and also
he's not flexing.
Any brand can find a way in the heart of collectors and people, which is super
if you make a product that is exclusive enough and desirable enough, it won't matter what it's priced at. This is £500, and we have had people that have insane collections that desperately want this watch. And in a way, wearing this is a flex, because anyone that's wearing this has a story to tell you about how they got it.
And is it like an Easter egg with the salami?
There's a few on there. There's the olives. There's the... I'll leave it to people to find, but there's...
No, because I see kind of like
Easter
smileys around, or like pig faces. I don't know. I don't really can tell.
I like that you see that.
It's like a little pig face, no?
No, it is.
Kind of. There's like two different
It's
smiles.
a bit like a Rorschach test. You see what it says a lot about you, whatever you say.
Do you judge us
I
after?
do, totally.
Okay, perfect. Can you let us know if it's schizophrenia or anything else?
No, I won't. But good luck with that. So actually, you said something else. We've got one more watch and then we're done. This has been amazing. What a ride. I'm going to segue perfectly. Just turn away, please, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. Just think of England. This is the last watch, and this is
because I've seen like 2.
Yeah, you might have
sneaked. This is I've seen.
This
okay,
is
wild one.
Do you want me to tell you why? So this is Norcane Wild One. It's something you said in there about celebrities that could have everything.
Yeah.
Like I think today, Mark Wahlberg was photographed with a sapphire Aquanaut. And this is not a watch that has ever seen the light of day. This is probably him testing the market for Patek. Patek, and this person that posted it, Nikolai, said, there's no question that Patek are giving Wahlberg everything first to break to the market. And what's interesting to me about someone like him, who literally has any watch at his disposal, is that he frequently wears this watch. And he doesn't have to my knowledge, but he doesn't have a stake in Norcane. He's not being paid by Norcane. It's just, he loves teal. He loves this turquoise color, like his municipal drip.
Yeah.
Drip. Often has this turquoise color, which I think is probably aligned with the Tiffany Nautilus, or the fact that the whole cachet of Tiffany blue and turquoise has gone through the roof. But whatever the reason, I just find that, again, sums up why I'm so into micro brands, because it's a new kind of flex and it's accessible to many, and he is a true watch person because he's wearing this completely unknown brand, a contender brand. The Kerfers, this family, are putting everything into building this brand.
They're doing well.
They're doing well, but the Wild One, see, I can see that for you.
Yeah.
It is definitely big, but the integrated rubber works for you.
It's really not bad.
But the thing about this watch that I want to say is just the wear. Like I frankly,
exchanging.
Well, you can have. I love this though. I like this.
I'm very happy about it.
This, and look at that. See the way that the integrated rubber already has that sort of. It fits the shape of your wrist straight up. But this gets the trophy for me for the most comfortable of all my watches.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't it like a summer or sporty watch for you?
100% is.
Okay.
But this is the one that I get into a panic of like, where's my watch? The watches is super light,
comfortable. Yeah.
but it's not just that it's like, I never do that with this. I always know that's on, even though that's lighter.
But because this is like itchy.
Yeah, it's harder. Whereas this is the best quality rubber strap I've ever experienced. It's like a cloud, and it also just fits so perfectly, and the weight balance is so perfect that I just don't know it's on. And
I think it's Norcane's most beautiful watch.
I think it is their flagship. There are obviously they're punching in all their categories with their different stories and dials, but this is the one.
But this is character. It's recognizable. You can recognize it. It's this color, which I think is growing in the watchmaking industry, which
Definitely.
I want to bring more as well.
Yeah.
We need this.
Otherwise. So I absolutely love it, and I'm on board. I think that they're doing the most difficult thing, which is that they're spearing into that middle market at an Omega price point, above a Tudor price point, at a Breitling price point. Like, they're going up against, this is an underdog story for all time. They're it's more likely to fail than to succeed, but I believe in them. Yeah. And then I see that Mark Wahlberg believes in them in an unpaid spot, and I'm like, yes, it's the difference when you're at a point where you have a few watches, you don't necessarily seek to fit in anymore. You don't go and buy another recognized middle market brand, or you don't buy a recognized high-end brand. You buy something that that has that personality, has that, there aren't too many of them. So I think they're brave, and they're giving it everything, and I'm with them.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Very good to know, and I love it on your wrist.
Thank you.
It wears very nice, honestly.
Gym watch, super light. I banged it up many times and just can't see any proof of that because it has this Nortec. So there's lots of cool facts about this material, this Nortec material, which is that it's tougher than a construction helmet. Like, it has the same sort of
yet it's super
shock
light.
resistance, super light, cheap movement. Like, there's a Kennedy version with a closed movement, which I also have. I have the olive, the khaki version of that. This one's open with the Solita movement, but it's a modified Solita, and it's got the balance right at 12, which is, I think that's kind of a cool thing, we've actually been on that the whole time. But I think it's nice having a balance at 12. Yeah. And again, movements and the whole, we talk about toxicity, right? Like, brands are spending so much money on material development, and a brand like Norcane, yes, it's a high-priced Solita-based watch, but look at the bigger picture here. Of course. In my
materials, design, and everything. Yeah. I agree.
And again, just at the end of the day, it's the fit
same story, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Same story. Seagull movement.
People hating Seagull for no reason because it's cool.
I just don't
looks cool. Looks even cooler than every other
What an entry point to watches. Before. You get to understand what a regulator is. You get to understand what a balance is. You get to understand where the barrel is and how it works. These are the great sort of entry points for the passion to grow. Yeah. And there's a reason we haven't talked about movements throughout. That's not what appeals to me about these watches.
Neither does to me.
And
don't care at all. This is quartz, for example. So, and I don't.
It doesn't have a second hand, right?
No.
Yeah.
No.
See,
and I love that.
Quartz without a second hand is completely fine. Yeah. You don't get that necessary reminder that it's ticking away.
And I love not having. I know that's going under on the other hand of the current, but no second hands. We don't really need them. For example, depends on the watches, but this doesn't. Of course.
Yeah,
on plastic watches you don't need them.
I like them. I like them on mechanical watches. I get calmed by. I sometimes look at a second hand, especially on this Grand Seiko, like the second hand on this. Oh my god! Like, if that doesn't start, this gives me therapy. Like, if I'm wearing this watch and I'm in a tumultuous moment, I will just sort of focus on that second hand, and it smooths me out. So I do like a second hand sometimes, but you're right. It's when it's removed from a quartz watch, it's just purely academic what's driving it.
Honestly, yes. Anyhow, we had a lot, huh?
Yeah.
It's a lot. I'm happy. Thank you for bringing me all these watches.
You said 3 to 10. I don't know.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I sort of went somewhere in between.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Any suggestion? Any views on how the market of our job is gonna evolve? What would you do
That's
if
a
you
good question.
were like starting now?
That's a good question. The way our job is going to evolve is that apparently a year from now, 90% of TikTok influencers are going to be AI. So
Interesting.
you, budding Andrea, and you should look to this guy as inspiration because you have established yourself in a really tough market really quickly. It's been 3 years, but you know, through a few identifiable little tricks, your fork, you need a fork. So ask yourself, what is my Andrea fork? Ask yourself, what is your Zach Blass pink glasses?
Yeah.
Ask yourself, what is your Waco? Hey guys, it's Waco from Revolution. Everyone's got a thing, you know. Ask yourself, what is your human signature? And then bring that to your content and make it impossible for AI to imitate you because we are heading into an era where this guy, and frankly, in person, Andrea could be AI. He could be like a handsome young Italian chap, slightly sartorial bent, small watches, enter. Okay. This is what would be spat out. So, you know, you and I'm like too old and haggard to be an AI creation. But I think that's my single bit of advice is stay human, be human, bring something, bring passion and bring a signature because that's where humans are going to be looking for clues of humanity in content because in a year from now, it's going to have that sort of plasticky, slightly sickly sheen of a fake.
We have it already in like
AI person.
Late days with all the templates. It was like,
I know. And so that's my advice is just stay human, be human, show me human. If I see another Andrea come along in the watch space that's got something, a quirk that I immediately like and something that is a different, passionate point of view, I'm in. I'm going to follow you. But you need to bring the humanity. And for me, it's I hope that AI can work for me. And there's so much of me on the internet that I can just put in a ChatGPT prompt of send Andrew to X watch brand and get him to host 3 videos on the new watches.
Would love that.
And I think that there'd be enough data for me to never have to travel again. So watch out. This may be an AI video actually.
Yeah.
Maybe it's already happened.
You'll never know.
Black Mirror. This is like a Black Mirror episode. We're both going to die now. But thank you so much for having me, and I hope that was useful.
It was a pleasure.
Indeed.
Let us know which one of these watches was your favorite, which story was your favorite. I wish we could talk for like 2 more hours, but I think I have a plane to catch in like 3 hours,
always.
So it's perfect.
Exactly.
Thanks for being here. Thank you guys for following. Follow the both of us. Follow Time&Tide. Follow whatever you want to follow, but do follow.
Follow all these micro brands. Like, if there's anything I'd love people to take away, it's that get on board some of these, you know, more innovative and creative producers, because these big brands, they offer you something, but the little ones, like this, I hope we've shown today that there's so much out there at a price that's probably really more doable.
Indeed. And see you next video.
Bye.
Bye.